What's going on, everybody? Got another vid. Like I said, we're playing catch up. Um, I can't even remember which round this is. I think this was round 4. Anyway, we've got a couple of good videos here, and then you're going to see some aggressive, careless play. This is one of them. This is Omega Sentinel, or AKA Omega Tits. Rank 3, Weapon X, Path 9. If I get the debuffs on. So I'm not running suicides. I learned that lesson. Don't run suicides here. Though I like to sometimes, I just didn't. I'm just waiting out the shift. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play the shift, put the heal block on, and basically shut off that regen. End it with a light ending combo to keep it going, as far as pause, extend that duration, add a couple more, and then just kind of get my opening when I can. Now he's in that berserk mode. I get clipped, but if I do with the bleed, I do get the regen, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. I get some health back. Now, what you're going to see me here do is I'm going to go for broke. I don't even care that the incinerate phase is up. I just want to get them out. I knew it was going to be costly as far as health, and then just pump some health pots in them, and then I'd be good to go. I do have several fights that I have to use Omega Sentinel on, but that's in section 2. Now we're going to go to this Enchantress, big bad Enchantress on Path 9. And what can I say, man? I don't even have the 7-star count, but he's just so good. He's just so good. And I fought so many Enchantresses that this fight just kind of becomes a joke. This is a difficult fight to an extent. But I don't know, man. I've played it so many times. You saw me. I do have the invuln on just in case things got a little chaotic. But we're gonna get this fight under control here. We're gonna go ahead and again, managing the spells. You're gonna see me here. I'm gonna go ahead. Let's throw the heavy. Throw that heavy counter. I'm trying to get the intercept, and I get it off of his evade, which I really love about that kit. Really helpful on this node to include ebb and flow intercept. Just her in general. That mechanic in this kit works. We're just kind of throwing a bunch of SPs in this fight. You see the regen. I'm keeping my charges going. I'm making sure I regen. Any damage, chip damage, it's just no big deal in this fight. I want to try to get back to SP2 here if I can. I think it's just, I really just love the control. Even with the indestructible, you see I had to kind of play around that, make sure my windows, when I was doing damage, would line up so I could get the damage going. I think I did a pretty good job considering the node with that indestructible can slow you down with damage. But no biggie here. Really good, clean fight. Another showcase how great Count Nafar is. I cannot wait to get a 7-star. Maybe one day, man. As of now, I got to rock that little baby 6. So now we're going to cross over to Path 1. And the only reason why I'm taking this path is because there is another photon on Buffet. Common placement. This fight, there really isn't anything too sexy about it. It's just a Nick Fury. Omega Sentinel is great. If I do get clipped and I bleed, I'm going to regen. I got the heal block so I can shut down the node. And I just don't have too much to worry about in this fight. So not too much to talk about. But this Buffet photon fight. I just loaded a video probably a few minutes ago. By the time this is airing. And that photon in that fight was sketchy if you watch my play. I'm going to do the same fight strategy, though. And like I said, it doesn't even matter about this Nick Fury fight. It's pretty simple. But when we get to this photon fight, what I didn't execute to the T, I'm going to execute it in this fight. And that's pairing it with the invuln to kind of show, why you would want to do it there. So let's get into this. This is an infamous fight that sometimes causes problems on a war map. I've seen people go here with Mantis, solo, not solo, but other champs as well. But you see me here. We're going to go in. We've got the heal block on, and that's key. Trying to keep that heal block going, in with some light ending combos when you can to help get the pause. There we go. And I don't even have suicides on for this, which I usually do. But I am playing much cleaner here than I did the other video that you saw. And you see the damage we're doing. We know she's at this big old, you see her light form, we're going, but we're gonna go for broke. We knew we was close, didn't get to the SP3, but we got to the SP2 and push her to her SP3. You see how much health she has. She's gonna fire off the SP3. My invuln's still intact. I'm going to eat it, keep my health. And when she comes out of this, she's still ticking from the SP2. All right, the light form is activated, it's going. I could play reserve here to keep under a bar of power, not to worry about it, but I'm not because I know she's almost dead. And I knew I had power backs on and I would be back at an SP3 or another SP2 really fast. If I had suicides on, she'd probably be dead by now. Here, I'm just going to kind of turtle up, let the light form tick down, wait for an opening. She's down. And that's how that fight should have looked the first time I did it, or every time you do it. Next up, we got node 37. Spiral. Spiral is not a great defender in this node. The only thing you need to remember is do not hit her twice with a light attack when she has dancing blades up. I have Spiral, I know how to use her, so I was a perfect matchup to counter her. But on this node, you want to keep your distance at times so that you don't get the regen on, because that regen gets pretty potent. You're going to see me go for heavies. I did make that mistake there because of the evade, and I threw another light. Shouldn't have. But I don't get punished for that SP1 getting blocked either. So what you're going to see me do is I'm going to get the heavy, and I'm going to get into this loop right here. Heavy, intercept, and throw the SP1 or SP2. And my power gain is just, it stays in this loop. You see me, I keep my distance, I'm waiting, and then I'm going to throw it again. And then I'm going to back off, and then I'm going to get the heavy. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to repeat exactly what I did. And this fight was, man, he just nuked her. That's a rank 3 Spiral. Not a great defender in my book. I do not use her for defense because she's just easy to fight. Let's get into this next video. This was a really, really good fight coming up. What was it? I think this is the Deathless Thanos. Yep. So this was Deathless Thanos. This was like maxed out, rank 3, SIG 200. Final boss node. SYM God strikes again. I only have 150% Mystic power back. 12% Mystic damage, and I'm gonna try to keep the same play. Now granted, Deathless Thanos tactic and SYM God isn't, but it's not gonna matter. I have a maxed out rank 3 Deathless Thanos. I dueled this fight many times just to get a feel, because he does buff, but he doesn't buff a lot. But at MD at 4, with the power backs, and again, I'm not running 200. If I ran 200, I had way better power back on this fight, but I didn't. I ran 150 and it didn't matter. That was good enough. The key for me was to try to do what you normally do using SYM God. The other thing that I have to be mindful in this fight is to pay attention to the unstoppable. It is going to catch me a few times. This is the first time I've ever fought Deathless Thanos in war, let alone on a 1 million health pool. But we're going to get him down, man, and it's not even going to be that difficult. It's pretty nutty how he controls this fight. I was also hopeful that I would be nullifying and staggering the unstoppables if they trigger, which I do at times, but he's got access to it pretty easy because of the tactic that sometimes I'm going to get clipped on. But look at this. We're a little over a minute into the fight, maybe 3/4 of his health. It seems like it's not great. I'm not gonna lie. You see the unstoppables, you see all of this. I'm throwing SB2s. I mistimed my SB2 2 times in a row, which I wasn't too happy about. And I don't know why. Maybe I was just a little slow on pulling the trigger. Normally I don't, but I did. And then I kind of get back into a rhythm. Now that we're back into a rhythm, now the damage is there, I'm feeling more comfortable because I'm like, okay, I know this fight works. You see me eat a combo there. But again, the damage I'm taking isn't bad. Is he a great placement for a final boss? Subject to say that. I mean, we've had a guy do this with a rank 3 Deathless She-Hulk, work great. But it's nice to use somebody else and just kind of cover the bases as far as what works. And yeah, you see it, man. Sim God is Sim God. What can I say? Man, I used to be upset that I hit him one too many times in the Titan pool when he first came out. I don't say that no more. No regrets taking him from 1 to 2 and then 2 to 3 in December when all those rank up resources were available. And again, to this day, he is one of my top 2 most used war champs. It's just crazy. I mean, 1 million health pull, he smoked it, no issues. Deuces.